I wanted to mention as well, Bruce, I realized, I'm not sure if you knew this, but you must do. It's been just over 15 years since your book, Biology of Belief, came out, which blew my mind when I looked at that the other day. And the question I have for you is, over those 15 years, did you expect that book, when you released it, to have such an impact on momentum and the conversations that are still happening today, if not more and more, that are coming out when you wrote it?
Well, let's put it this way. My life had changed so profoundly from a scientific point of view, and buying into the nature of spirituality as a scientific point of view, which I never believed in. And then my life had this profound change from just, the new science. And I thought, if people could just see this, maybe they could take their power back. I mean, I took my power back and I offered the science of how that happened and why it happened and all that in our personal creation. And just, to help our audience here for 1 second, that quantum physics is the most valid science on the planet, the one that's been tested the most and affirmed to be truer than all sciences. And I go, relevance is the primary principle of quantum physics, actually even from 1927, when it was founded, was that consciousness is creating our life experiences. Now, that's mind over matter, of course. That's what it said in physics as a primary understanding. And my research led to part of that because it showed how mind was controlling genetics and behavior. Okay, so that was the broad statement from quantum physics. And then all of a sudden epigenetics was like, oh my goodness, this is a mechanism of quantum physics. And when I saw that, and I said, it was a very true story, I understood that all of a sudden, I said, oh my God, we're creating this, not just from the idea of quantum physics, but from the idea of epigenetics and new biology. And I was so excited, I wanted to tell everybody. And I got a group of people together and I said, let me tell you this new science, because if you understand this new science, you create the most wonderful life. And the people in the audience looked at me and would go, Lipton, for a guy who says this stuff, your life doesn't look that good. And that was actually the most personal wake-up call in the whole world, because I was essentially saying, well, do as I say, but not as I do. And I realized, how can I talk about creating this wonderful life and I'm not an example of it? And I started to realize how to translate the science into behavior. And once that happened, then it was like, oh my God, it works. It really works. And that's when I really wanted to put the book out, because I thought if everybody understood this on their own personal level, it was empowerment, because knowledge is power. Knowledge of self-empowerment. And I saw this because I was a student of this myself. And I just wanted to give an opportunity, and I hoped it would go far and wide, because the consequence of doing this, understanding and living this new science, it manifested what I've found to be true, which I never believed, but heaven is right here on earth. But you have to have the consciousness and power to experience that.
Yeah, so true what you say. There's a few things there, because we can certainly fill our heads with information, because there's a lot of information out there. But if it's not actually changing us at a behavioral level and we're seeing it show up in our lives, I wonder how much information can we actually consume? And then we worry about which information we are consuming in the first place.
Well, as you said, the harder part, which is my experience as well, was, I can educate the conscious mind really quickly. Conscious mind is very creative, but we live our lives from the programming of subconscious mind. So the original idea was, well, if my conscious mind becomes aware, so does my subconscious mind. I go, no, that was the big failure, because the two minds learn in different ways. So reading a book, going to a lecture, just going, aha, I can change conscious mind because that's creativity, but it doesn't change subconscious mind. And that's the disconnect in our world. Because if you understand, you want to change the program, you have to do it in a different way. Then all of a sudden it's like, there's a pathway. Because the biggest problem is people say, I want to change my life. And they try positive thinking and they do all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't change. At some point, it's like, I'm a victim. it's not me because I tried, it's not working. And then we give up. And that's so unfortunate.
Can you, I've had many now, like I think I've done 155, maybe 160 podcasts on here. So I get this incredible range of amazing people to have conversations with, like yourself. And I've had many different doctors and people coming out, and some of them have always had reservations because of their profession, and they're worried about thinking what people might think, or if I start touching the word spirituality, and they're going to think I'm a, you know, but it always leads to, they've come out. And I was really interested to know, was that like for you before biology of belief? Or
you know, we're talking about the conscious mind, which has creative wishes and desires, versus the subconscious mind, which runs off of programs, experienced, learned, downloaded, etc. And when I was trying to write the book, and I say trying to write the book because I started 3 times. I got, you know, because I knew the science of it and I knew what I wanted to say. And it ended up with that spirituality in the form of quantum physics, energy fields. And I kept failing. I get halfway through the book and it would fail. And halfway through the book and it would fail. And then I met my friend who developed the process called Psyche, which is one of the belief changing modalities. And when we tested my belief system, which is my program, it would not support writing the book. And I go, but we tested why. And the answer was because it would undermine my academic standing as a recognized scientist doing real research. If you end with spirituality, this is so far out of the field of science back 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that you can't say spirituality and have it in science. It was like, no, that's voodoo over there. So my subconscious was saving my career by causing me to fail after the halfway through the book. I just wouldn't, it wouldn't go.
wow.
And I had to change a belief. I had to change a belief. And that was real critical because I knew what I was doing now consciously and why it wasn't doing and what I needed to do. Most people just experience that it's not working and don't recognize, no, wait, there's an issue why things don't work. In a world where we're creators, that's the first question. Well, if we're really creators, why doesn't it work the way I want it to work? And what I was learning, of course, was my subconscious had a program of being a scientist and or the recognition nature of a scientist, and spirituality is not in the field. So if I end up with a book trying to take science and spirituality in a world that doesn't recognize it, it would have compromised my career.
Yeah. Wow.
And when I changed the belief, and then the most beautiful part was changing that program, all of a sudden the words came out like it was gushing out. The words just came downloaded and everything it was downloading, you know, but it couldn't download when the subconscious mind started to go off with the old program. No, this is not good. Change the program, and all of a sudden a gusher, and the book came out right away.
Amazing. It's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.